Imagine this. The sky splits open and you see God descending from heaven, riding upon a cherubim. His face radiates like fire, thick columns of smoke billow around him, lightning arcs like arrows, and a trail of blazing coals and hailstones follows his path. What would you do if you witnessed such a moment? Biblical accounts tell us that encounters with God were not just awe-inspiring, they were often life-changing and deeply transformative. Today we're exploring the stories of 4 individuals who came face to face with the divine. These accounts, drawn from both biblical and extra-biblical texts, reveal the extraordinary power of such moments. Visions that not only left these individuals in awe, but reshaped their lives forever. Number 1. Moses, the man who glimpsed God's glory. Moses, the leader of the Israelites, shared a uniquely intimate relationship with God. After leading his people out of Egypt and into the wilderness, Moses ascended Mount Sinai to receive the 10 Commandments. Yet, during one divine encounter, Moses sought something extraordinary, to see God's glory. In Exodus 33, God replied, "You cannot see my face, for no one may see me and live." God's glory was too overwhelming for any mortal. Yet, in his grace, he allowed Moses to glimpse his back. Shielding Moses in the cleft of a rock, God passed by, revealing only a fraction of his majesty. This brief encounter left Moses physically transformed. When he descended the mountain, his face radiated with supernatural brilliance, so intense that the Israelites were terrified. To protect them, Moses wore a veil over his face when addressing the people, but he removed it when communing directly with God in the tent of meeting. This experience reaffirmed Moses' role as the mediator between God and his people. His radiant face became a living reminder of God's presence among the Israelites. Each time he spoke to God, he removed the veil, signifying the direct, unfiltered relationship he shared with the divine. For the Israelites, Moses' transformation was awe-inspiring, demonstrating God's holiness and the profound impact of his glory. For Moses, it was a life-changing moment, solidifying his faith and strengthening his resolve to guide a rebellious nation. His story is a testament to the transformative power of encountering God, revealing a balance between his transcendent majesty and his willingness to connect personally with those who earnestly seek him. Moses' radiant face serves as a lasting symbol of God's glory and the sacred intimacy of divine encounters. Number 2. David, witness to God's majesty in deliverance. King David, famously called a man after God's own heart, experienced God's overwhelming power in moments of both triumph and desperation. In Psalm 18, David poetically recounts a divine encounter during one of his darkest hours, when his enemies pursued him relentlessly. Desperate and cornered, David cried out to God for deliverance, and heaven itself seemed to respond with breathtaking force. The earth quaked, mountains shook to their foundations, and smoke rose from God's nostrils. Consuming fire poured from his mouth, igniting blazing coals that illuminated the heavens. Riding upon a cherubim, God descended, soaring on the wings of the wind and veiled in thick darkness. This dramatic imagery portrays God as an unstoppable force, coming to rescue his faithful servant. Though these descriptions may be symbolic, they powerfully convey the reality of God's might and his willingness to intervene on behalf of those who trust in him. For David, this encounter wasn't merely poetic, it was transformative. It reassured him that God was his protector and fortress, capable of moving heaven and earth in response to prayer. More than just a moment of deliverance, this event pointed to David's divine purpose. Later, God established an eternal covenant with him, promising that his lineage would lead to the Messiah, the ultimate deliverer and king. David's testimony in Psalm 18 serves as a profound reminder that God's power knows no bounds, and his love compels him to act on behalf of those who seek him with unwavering faith. Number 3. Enoch, transformed into an angelic scribe. The story of Enoch, found in the Book of Enoch, a revered but non-canonical text, offers a rare glimpse into the celestial mysteries of heaven. Enoch is described as a man who walked with God, a relationship so profound that it led to his unique transformation. Unlike most, Enoch did not experience death. Instead, he was taken up into the heavenly realms and transformed into an angelic being known as Metatron, the celestial scribe of the highest order. Clothed in garments of radiant light, Enoch beheld God's presence in its unfiltered majesty. He described God's face as shining with an intensity like molten iron in a furnace, blinding, overwhelming, and utterly unapproachable. This imagery emphasizes the holiness and uncontainable power of God, whose glory cannot be endured. Enoch's transformation from human to angelic being underscores the profound changes that occur when one steps into the presence of the divine. His journey is not just a tale of spiritual ascent, but a testament to the boundless holiness of God and the awe-inspiring nature of his glory. For those who seek God earnestly, Enoch's story serves as a reminder of the transformative power of true communion with the Creator. Number 4. Elijah, finding God in a whisper. The prophet Elijah's encounter with God is one of quiet intimacy, standing in stark contrast to the dramatic displays often associated with divine intervention. Following his triumphant showdown against the prophets of Baal on Mount Carmel, where God sent fire from heaven to consume his offering, Elijah faced an unexpected backlash. Queen Jezebel, enraged by his victory, vowed to take his life. Overwhelmed by fear and exhaustion, Elijah fled into the wilderness, consumed by despair and questioning his purpose. Seeking solace and direction, Elijah journeyed to Mount Horeb, also known as Mount Sinai, the mountain of God. There, Elijah experienced an unforgettable lesson in the unexpected ways God reveals himself. A powerful windstorm tore through the mountains, shattering rocks with its force, but God was not in the wind. An earthquake followed, shaking the ground beneath him, but God was not in the earthquake. Then came a consuming fire, but God was not in the fire either. Finally, after the chaos, there was a gentle whisper. It was in that still, small voice that Elijah recognized the presence of God. This encounter revealed a profound truth. The Almighty does not always manifest in grand or dramatic ways, but often in quiet, subtle moments. Strengthened by this experience, Elijah continued his prophetic mission with renewed faith and clarity. Shortly after, he was taken to heaven in a whirlwind, one of the most extraordinary conclusions to a prophetic life, cementing his unique relationship with God. Throughout history, encounters with God have left people forever changed. Moses bore the radiant glow of God's glory. David experienced the earth-shaking power of deliverance. Enoch was transformed into a being of light. Elijah found God in a whisper amid chaos. These stories remind us that meeting the divine is not just a moment of awe, it's a call to transformation. What would you do if you came face to face with God? Would you be ready for the change that would follow? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more incredible explorations of faith and history.